Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for joining us today on this Friday after Poke Through here in Melbourne. I'm going to just do a little contextualizing first, and then we'll get started straight into the performance. So before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we are working here today, the Boonwurrung and Woonwurrung people of the Kulin Nation. And I would like to pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging, and the elders of other communities who also may be here today. As a migrant to this country, I would like especially to acknowledge the countless generations of First Nations people who have met, worked, thought, talked, and made creative work here before us, a legacy from which I and others deeply benefit and continue to. And I also repeat my recognition that this land always was and always will be Aboriginal land and was never ceded. So I don't know if in the YouTube live stream you can chat, if there's a chat where you can acknowledge and list the lands on which you're beaming in to us from. But if you're able to, I invite you to, and that would be really cool as well. It seems to be a COVID Zoom life tradition we've now started, and it's very nice to see. So first of all, why and how to dramatize creative data, creativity, large-scale research project data. I guess that's at the heart of today's performance. The project, which many of you know, the whole project itself is a 4-year study. It goes across 6 different sites, 3 sites in Australia, and also Hong Kong, Singapore, and Taipei. That last site has been interrupted through the pandemic. So here we are adapting and moving to a virtual space to meet in. I guess in terms of the whole project and the relationship with the devising, one of the things that I wanted to do at the beginning of this second large-scale international study that I've been funded to do on creativity was really important to me to start trying to integrate the creative practice back into it. And I thought that it would be really interesting to try and do not just the traditional mixed method approach, right? So in this study, we've got over 150 interviews. We've got something like over 700 surveys of students in higher education. We've got some image gallery, selfie gallery. But really, the idea was to bring it back to my own creative practice in performance, as well as think about how those different methods, as research methods, can be in conversation with each other. So I and many of you here today have worked for a long time with verbatim, creating verbatim performance, and other kinds of devised performance ethnography, or performed research in its many different categories. But in this case, I really wanted to 2 things: see how an affective engagement with the data, the interview data, might bring different understanding. Because this is an intercultural project, it was really important to try and allow the audience, and even for me as a researcher and Kelly McConville as the research associate on the project, to bring a different kind of engagement. So it's one thing to sort of, analyze even the qualitative data, but it's quite another to perform it, direct it, devise it together, and for you to watch it as well. So I've done that in some other studies, but again, to do it with it as a component of a large-scale multi-sited ethnography, I think is quite different. It's been challenging and interesting for us. And then the other thing that's been really challenging is trying to do some performed research or verbatim performance around creativity, kind of non-traditional topic, I guess, for those of us who work in that space. I've done other work around LGBT teachers, around migrant and refugee background young people, things like that. all very kind of emotive around, oppression or a social issue or marginalization or trying to dramatize a kind of historical, the forgotten, the abject. But when you come to creativity and try and do this kind of method with this concept, it can be a little bit it can be a little abstract, right? And even the kind of things that people talked about in the interview, creativity is quite a different conversation than talking about one's own arts practice. So it's been challenging and really fun to try and dramatize an interview conversation or interview conversations about a conceptual notion like creativity. So what you're going to see today is about a half hour, 25-minute performance, and it's 3 characters. They're composite characters, all of them, drawn from the interview data, and then I created a provisional script, and Kelly McConville has worked with the cast, this incredible cast, to devise some additional parts of it. And together, we're offering it to you as a snapshot, not as some kind of like sharing the findings in any way. It's not summative kind of product or output from the study. It's a process way of getting inside the data in a corporeal way, an emotional way, an affective way. And so we want you to think about it as non-representational. We don't want you to think, well, this is some kind of findings about creativity in Melbourne. It should be a performative experience, and we'll be really interested afterwards to talk with those of you who can stay about what it feels like to engage with this kind of data this way. And then the last thing to say just before we go is, is moving to a virtual platform and doing creative development online. So we've been working with the actors really just over about 4 days, 3 or 4 days. And we're so grateful to them for just jumping in and giving it a go. And obviously a full creative development will go much further. But this is our snapshot, and they've just been so talented and flexible and daring in terms of engaging this way. And we'd love to have a conversation afterwards as well about devising and doing performance work online. So I'll leave it there for now. What we'll do is I'll hand it over to our tech guru, Rohan, who will drive it on the YouTube channel. And then at the end of the performance, he has or will put in the chat the link back to the Teams meeting so we can have the Q&A in Teams. So please watch, enjoy the performance, and see you back in Teams at the end. Thank you.
Where's my camera? Oh.
Huh.
All right.
You can put me down as a cynic when it comes to the language of creativity. Nationality? We're known as Australians, and I identify as a Kari-Warong language group and a Gunditjmara.
We try and create that culture of creativity, whether it's we have a weekly afternoon where we just sit around our bar. We have a bar in our office, and we tend to just throw around ideas. And if that idea gets implemented, then someone in the team gets to head that up, and then they get paid additionally for that kind of stuff.
I mean, they protect practice above everything, and they never have to go, oh, actually, this production should count as an output. I never have to do that. And so you put up with the struggle of overwork and the hothouse of the university because actually it's and creative. I feel like I'm in a creative space. Look, I know it's mad, but it's my mad.
Look, I started off on boards of directors since I was 21, and to me, that is a creative role, envisioning an organisation and where you want to take it. And you got to do boring things like policies and strategic plans, but that's how you implement the vision. So there's that kind of creativity where you create and you plant seeds and you watch them grow and other people grow them up and carry on with them.
I don't have enough information about what's happening in the Pacific per se to even be able to guess whether there is such a thing as the Asia Pacific creative practice.
Look at the museum. It's full of everybody else's stuff.
Making connections, being part of the world, being connected with the world.
And how do we learn from other cultures, other environments where creativity thrives?
Oh no.
What is it? What's happening? Oh, we're supporting the black and red.
Yeah.
No, what?
Yeah, it's black and red.
Why? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
What? What's going on? What's going on?
No.
What?
Oh.
He marked it. If he kicks from 50, he won't miss. He never misses. He's so good.
What's marked? What's marked?
He caught it.
Oh, he caught it. Oh, was it half the time? Like.
Oh no,
50.
like 50 meters, like distance.
Oh, the distance. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
He never misses.
Whoa, that is a huge kick. It's definitely gonna go out.
Beauty!
I thought you said you never miss.
Ah.
For my current field of co-design, it's so important because at the moment it runs on the fact that, yeah, we bring diverse people together in one space and be creative. It fails. And there are so many different reasons why. Culturally, some people are not comfortable to talk and all that kind of thing. But if you look at most so-called creative environments, it's very flashy. And there's direct sunlight from everywhere with colorful materials and with lots of people and lots of noises. A lot of people can't deal with that. So what paper to posters to the wall materials and to acoustic environment, it really matters.
Basket weaving had survived. My nan and my auntie, and then my cousin and myself, we still weave. So it's like this unbroken line back to memorial, and it's pretty amazing. The possum cloaks, well, that was just skill-wise, we had to learn ourselves because there was nobody really who'd made any. In terms of a cultural practice living back in the community, cloaks had been, or not been there. You're making a cloak and you're talking about putting the ochre on it. And the young boy says, well, where's our ochre? And so you create this opportunity for that transference of knowledge. That boy may never have asked his uncle because they may never have been doing anything.
We've got really talented tailors in this country. We see this country as modern and diverse. And we want to tell those stories. I'm often looking for inspiration by way of design. In my world, I keep an ear to the ground or follow really closely a technology standpoint. And I think you have to be incredibly open to creativity and innovative in how you utilize that tech.
We do need digital creativity tools and methods, but at the same time, basic human skills, how to listen, how to be respectful, and how to be humble. Humility, I think, that's not a skill. Is it a consequence? Is it a quality?
It comes back to that sense again of what are we really talking about in terms of creativity?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's performance will shortly begin. Please switch off your mobile phones. If not, Jeffrey Rush will leap off the stage and break it in front of your face. Thank you.
All right, so we got here a soy nut almond latte, and here a long hot black, and here we have a half almond, half soy, extra hot flat white.
Hey, sorry, is this the line for Reservoir Dogs? Did you just say Reservoir Dogs? It's Reservoir. No, sorry. No. It really sounds natural the way that you say it. Hey, I've got a show in the comedy festival. No worries. Hey, I've got a show in the comedy fest tonight. I turned myself into a vegan croissant. It's free. Hey.
Hey there, a skinny, oh no, an almond flat white. Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm Australian. Nope, not Italian. Yes, definitely from Australia. I'm Aboriginal, actually. Okay, that's not a compliment. Oh, you work in government? A welcome? No, I can't do a welcome to country, not my country. No, Australia's my country, but this isn't my mob. Yep, that matters. Oh, you've been to the Northern Territory. Cool. No, I don't know, William. Oh, you got a skin name too. True. I'm gonna. And if we're talking about those ideas, like asking questions and being open-minded and opening oneself up to new ideas, then sure.
I see myself belonging to two bigger ecosystems. There is certainly, and then I'll interpret creativity in the user interface design scene, which is the global one. I don't think that Melbourne or Australia differently, but all of the design leaders in the States. We just copy the trends. And that's through the fact that entrepreneurship, innovation, people starting up companies that need user interfaces is really, really new to Australia.
I mean, I don't believe there is an Asian aesthetic. And there are multiple forms of creativity. I mean, we've got to accept that there is East within the West, just as there is Western influence in the East.
Look, Aboriginal art, generally, the Southeast is still somewhat in that paradigm, the Australian paradigm, which thinks it's not part of the Asia Pacific and Pacifica culture. The Western art world thinking defines Aboriginal art in the world market.
Now it positions itself more closely to Europe than Sydney does. The Sydney art and design scene is a different feel for me. Sydney's contemporary and commercial galleries, the Sydney Biennale, all have a bigger relationship with Asia than Melbourne does.
I mean, if we together with the Asia Pacific, there's so much more we could do, so much more.
So much more.
But it doesn't mean that we need to lead. And maybe we could just be part of it, part of the ecology, and help others to engage with the Asia Pacific, absolutely, because of our huge, but also that's where we make a lot of money in terms of creative industries and education. Well, they go hand in hand. I think we do realize how important it is for Australia to be in the Asia Pacific. Whether our neighbors think that or not is a different.
A lot of our stuff is produced in China. So I'm over there a lot and far from an expert, but yeah, it's a place you need to understand. You know, there's definitely a vast cultural difference, particularly with how you do business and deliver service, that like we'd have to learn.
It's never an I, it's a we. It's always the we thing. And I don't even particularly like the term empower. It seems to be coming from a position of I am giving you something rather than collaborating. And the new catchphrase, co-design. Sorry. Devon, hi. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Oh, it's so good to see you.
Yes, I am. I'm really looking forward to seeing Mike's work.
Oh yeah, Jeffrey's in it too. Did you know?
Yeah, I knew Jeffrey was in it, but I don't know him. Do you know him?
Oh yeah, we go way back. He's so nice.
Oh, cool. So no, in like a weird way.
No, I've been so busy. I had this Neighbours audition. Oh, I think it went really well.
Oh, cool. You'd be really great at that.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Oh, is that Justin? Oh, hi. Hello. Hi.
Oh my God! Hey,
Hey.
the two of you, did you come together?
Oh no, we just bumped into each other.
Wow, what are the odds? I mean, how are you doing? I heard you had the audition with Neighbours. With Neighbours, how did it go?
So good. I think I got it. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, with a talent like yours, who needs luck anyway?
Oh,
It was the same audition, but I totally blew it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure you were fine. Have you got any projects coming up?
About like in a month we're going into rehearsal with STC and doing a show with Kate Blanchett.
Kate, she's so lovely.
Oh, she's the loveliest. Yeah, she's so down to earth. Love her.
Oh.
Do I feel the graduates are coming in with the right skill set? I think their skills are a bit precise. They need to be, you know, I'm always interested in, does the university have an accelerator? Of all the people that I have employed, all of those people came to us from accelerators because they had the mindset that we were looking for, which is can do and will learn to do anything and everything. You know, like I went to uni in 2014 and there was no talk of entrepreneurship.
Students fear a lot about their grades. That really has a detrimental impact, and educators do see it and try very hard to fix it. But we need a broader approach. A good case that's representative of what people are trying to do is Anab. She is a co-director of Superflux, which is a global foresight and design agency.
So, sorry, what was her name?
Anab Jain, ANABJAIN. Yeah, Superflux. So she's now the head of industrial design at the Vienna University of Applied Arts. She takes a speculative approach, but critical thinking is at the core of it. And it's very affordable. I think you pay like 20 euros or something ridiculous to study there. I mean, to be able to offer that, obviously, we need infrastructure. So in a way, it's a very special and unique case. But what they're doing such an amazing job of what a lot of us want to do in education. So if we're really to help develop the next generation of creative practitioners. I'm from South Korea, and when we think about what's advanced education, it's always the Western model, Eurocentric model, actually.
Look, our culture is based on the understanding of interconnectivity of everything. And that's why we've got so many cousins, because it's not so much that we've got that many bloody cousins, but we're connected and interrelated. So you can't separate yourself from that bird or that tree or as your family and all them other people. You have a relation with everyone, and our culture explains that. So you and everyone's got a place. And so many people are not just homeless people, but obviously they're the obvious example of displacement and disconnection. But there's so much displacement and disconnection and people not feeling part of or belonging. There's initiatives from the community, from the people, not bloody government, but communities bringing back that connectedness, that neighbourhood, the local community, buy local and all this stuff. So that gives me hope. Yeah, that's my creative ecology, and I feel very blessed and fortunate to be working in the spectrum of everything I love.
I found her. She looks so cool. There's even a photo of her and Greta Thunberg. You know, I think we've got a really great story to tell, and I don't think that there's an embracing of the fact that we do have our own identity.
Yeah, but who's we?
Like, if we did, we'd be, yeah, I think we'd thrive, particularly from an entrepreneurial standpoint. We wouldn't be like relying on things like mining and resources and agriculture. Australia can stand on its own 2 feet creatively. You know, Italy and England, they've got their thing, but like we've got our thing too. So yeah, I mean, we're looking to move internationally, and we'll be pushing our Australian aesthetic and bringing that to the world.
If this pandemic has offered us anything, it's a chance to understand globalization better and global mobility and human connections. What Southeast Asia has to offer Australia, but maybe more importantly, what we have to offer them.
Okay, thank you so much. Please help me thanking the actors, and find the link back to the Teams group, and we will reconvene in Teams for our Q&A. But yeah, thank you for coming with us back to Teams. See you in a minute.